right, we're here at the Liquid Force booth now with Jason Slazek, who's going to tell us all about the new lineup of boards.
So we're going to give you a quick and dirty but thorough run through of our board line, okay? So we have the Edge board over here, which is our only compression molded board, but it's an awesome board for beginners. Super durable, kind of tapered concave that works with the heel side rail to make learning easier, and a rolled up toe side edge, so easy board, entry level board. We have the Drive, the Overdrive. They both come from the same family, so they're out of our profiled core boards. The Drive this year did get a kind of a full-on little makeover, so full wood core, full wrap liquid rail, which is a poured urethane rail, inline M6 inserts. The difference on the board this year, which you can see on the bottom, is it actually has some bottom shape, a little channel area out by the fins, and concave pressed into this board. So entry-level board, but with a lot more features packed into it than in years past, and that is the Drive. So let me put it back here.
I like the color, it's very nice.
There you go. That's important.
Yes, because all we care about is color.
That's true. So if you don't like the purple one, you can use the green one, or the blue one, or the orange one. The Overdrive, which is the big brother of the Drive, it's basically the same type of board, profiled wood core, but a little bit extra width and a little bit extra length. So lighter wind, not like a true kind of door, really bland light wind board, but something you can actually carve around on, land tricks on, is really, really fun. And we find that just bigger guys, some bigger riders just use that as an all-around board. And then briefly we'll touch on the Focus and the Aloha, which is behind you here, which I'm going to grab. And the Focus and the Aloha are also profiled core boards, but with a little bit more tech. I grabbed the Aloha here because they come out of the same tool with the same bottom shape. So they have what's called our crack core technology, where we actually cut the core in certain areas and then press the bottom shape into it in the press. So there's a double concave through the tips, a channel here along the fins, and a channel along the rail. But this Aloha is our women's specific new board for 2016. So
I like it. It's so nice.
It's not just made smaller and turned pink, but it's fully designed for women. So you can see it has a little bit of a different outline than the Focus, so not quite as squared off, a little bit more forgiving. But it has the same technical features on the bottom, and then also has a softer flex. So a little bit softer flex for the girls, lighter riders. But with the same, componentry, core material, and high-end production that we have in the Focus. And that wraps up our profiled core boards.
Is this board good for straps and for boots?
Straps or boots, yeah. Everything we've gone through so far can accept straps and or boots on it for riding.
All right, what's this lovely green board all about here?
So what we have is a continuation of our board line. We have this gets into our signature series or pro model line. Brandon Scheid, who's absolutely on fire right now, is one of our team riders who's been super instrumental in helping push our board development. And this is the second year, so 2016 is the second year for his pro model, which is the Echo. And the Echo takes that profiled core technology that carries from the Drive, Overdrive, Focus, and Aloha, and just pushes it a little bit further. So Brandon's board has, again, full wood core, full wraparound liquid rail, and inline M6 inserts, but it also has a tapered slant sidewall. Biggest thing for this is his board being a little bit more wake style oriented, or a little more aggressive board, is a bit thicker in the middle to keep the stiffer flex that he wanted, but yet it's profiled out to these nice, really thin tips, which has a quad channel, crack core technology, but it's also that they're fluted or they angle out, so they actually help accelerate the water and work really well in combination with the fins to give added grip. And then it has a double concave pressed into the tip. So super sexy, really aggressive channeling in the bottom of the Echo. And then it's got a quad concave through the center, which just gives you more edge hold, along the rest of the board. The Echo is available in 4 sizes and has some pretty hot looking graphics as well.
Well, since Brandon does a lot of rails and stuff, is this board also good for rails?
Yes, it does not come with a grind base. With the aggressive channeling in the bottom, we found that the substrate we use provides a better bond, but it is extremely durable. He does ride these on rails, and for as aggressive as Brandon is, he can stretch out a board a little bit longer than he was able to with some of our older substrates. So we went against the grind base for the added weight and the added cost. So to keep it, he wanted something that was an affordable board that the up-and-coming, progressive wake style riders could actually afford, instead of something that was so expensive that it was out of their price range. So he wanted to keep it performance-oriented, where it didn't completely break the bank, which was able to be accomplished in the Echo.
Cool. Okay, let's move on to the next.
Move on to my biasly favorite board, which has my name on it, and that's why I'm biased. No, this is the Liquid Force Legacy. I've been working with our shaper, Jimmy Redmond, for over 10 years of being at Liquid Force, and this is sort of a culmination of all of our work together. With the Legacy, we wanted a board that was a little bit less aggressive maybe than Brandon's Echo, so it's a little softer, a little bit thinner and lighter.
Is that because you're a little bbit softer than Brandon?
A little bit, yeah. It's mostly just age. But also I'm just softer inside as well. No. But so we have a slightly softer board overall, so it flexes a bit more. I just personally like a board will do anything, right? You can rip turns on this thing, you can just go and boost, you can still put boots on it and ride wake style, hit rails on it, but it's not really pigeonholed into any one category. So it's got a very forgiving and smooth ride. The bottom is where we've put a lot of the tech into this year. So the bottom shape has not changed since last year, so it's a double concave through the whole board with some sort of angled or tapered concave areas out to the rails. Rather than having a steep rail channel, which I think provides a little bit more drag, this has a bit of a smoother concave to help with water flow. And then we added a custom cut die this year that drags the carbon strip out a little bit longer to help give some rigidity in between your feet. And then we've added this vector net weave cloth, which gives the board a lot more life. So rather than going full carbon, which can be very stiff and very aggressive feeling, this still has a lot of springiness to it, but without all the stiffness that you get out of carbon.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of boards now this season have this. It seems to be kind of like the new trendy thing to do.
Yeah, it came out of surfboards for many years. They were putting them sort of towards the tail where they had a lot of impact and get a lot of heel denting. And it's a cloth that doesn't quite hold as much resin, but yet gives you added strength and flex characteristics that you can't get with regular glass, and has an awesome mix between full carbon and just straight up S-glass or Tri-X glass. So that's the Liquid Force Legacy, and this goes into our CNC'd core, so these boards are CNC'd as well, and then that takes us into the Element, which is next to you here, and that is, the Element here is Christoph Tack, who's the current world champion. This is his pro model board. And one of the things we're super proud of with Tack is that he rides stock boards. So unlike a lot of other companies who make their riders custom boards to compete with and then mask them to look like their production boards, we literally pull boards out of stock, send them to Tack when he needs new boards. So the same board that a consumer can go and buy is the same board that took the world champion to the podium all those times. So the Element is full wood core, full wrap liquid rail, and inline M6 inserts like the rest of our boards. But the Element also got the carbon vector net weave this year. So Tack rode some of the protos that I had over a year ago. He was really into it, so we added that to his board for this year. So a little more lively feeling, but same great shape, quad channel through the tips, and really nice, very slight concave, but mainly flat, so that it's super explosive from trick to trick and sort of on that PKRA rider competition format type riding. And then last but not least is the Carbon Element, which plays off the same great proven shape of the regular Element, but in a full carbon construction. So extremely lightweight, similar and exact same carbon weave is used for the top and the bottom, which gives us a really nice consistent flex characteristic. The one difference between this and the regular Element is riding it with boots does void the warranty. So some of our team riders do ride this with boots, but the the X factor in boots is the amount of pressure that's put at the edge of your boots in one point on carbon that you don't get on foot straps. If you have an extremely good rider who's very cautious on their landings, they can make it last forever. If you have somebody that's heavy and maybe very heavy-footed, you can break the board easier. So this is a foot strap only board, and just for people who are curious, Tack does ride the regular Element, not the carbon one. It's not that he doesn't like it, but for his feel and what he wants, he gets it out of the regular one. So it's not that it's lacking in performance, it's just a different feeling that you get.
Well, this is old school trick style.
That's
the 1 footer.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pretty much rounds out our twin tip line for 2016.
Awesome. They all look really, really nice, and I think you guys have done a good job so far this year. So let's look at the kites.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome.